Welcome again to the first DHC Plus Talks. This is a series of webinars that DHC Plus Technology Platform decided to bring to you during these very difficult times when we need to take a break from our home office routine or sometimes from our families. This is a different format of webinars, and it is different because, as you might have noticed, you can see all the presenters. They are at home. They are sipping their coffee or tea, and they will be comfortable enough also to tell you something about their favorite coffee or tea mugs later on. We welcome you to today's webinar, which has a topic which is very dear to me, the DHC Plus Summer School. And we're going to talk about the 8th edition of this summer school, which will take place in Karlshamn, and more details will be given to you by the presenters later on. Just a few words about myself. My name is Aksana Krasatsenka, and I am Project and Communication Officer at Euroheat and Power. Euroheat and Power is the international network for district heating and cooling, promoting sustainable heating and cooling solutions in Europe. And the DHC Plus technology platform was created under the umbrella of Euroheat and Power, is the European hub for research and innovation in district heating and cooling. We have several activities or clusters of activities. We are involved together with our members in EU research and innovation projects. We are also organizing quite some education and training activities. We are active in advocacy and communications, and also gather all the knowledge about district energy available in Europe and beyond. Talking about our education and training activities, obviously the topic of today is the International DHC Plus Summer School. It's an annual initiative that we conduct since 2013. The first edition took place in Berlin, the second one in Helsinki, the third edition in Torino in Italy. In 2016, we went to Warsaw. In 2017, we went to Genk in Belgium. In 2018, the summer school was held in Ljubljana, and last year we went to Paris. Today, we're going to present our plans for the summer school 2020, which will be held end of August in Karlshamn, in Sweden. Just a few words about the summer school concept. It's a week of quite intensive education, focusing on district energy. We aim at developing new skills of our participants. We provide them international experience and also the possibility to create network, to get new friends and possibly future colleagues. We provide them knowledge via our international experts, academia and industry professionals giving their presentations at the summer school. We also give them the possibility to connect with the industry players because we're visiting technical sites. And obviously, we want them to learn by experiencing and by applying their knowledge at the practical exercises and challenge that they solve throughout the week. Obviously, we cannot ignore the possible COVID-19 effect on our annual summer school. This is just a few pictures explaining that before the corona, our professors used to look like that, giving very classical lectures in auditoria. Probably we may need to rethink the concept of the summer school, and this summer school may well turn out to be a digital summer school. And just to anticipate your questions, we are working on this plan very intensively. Now, I would like also to know who joined our DHC Plus talks today and to get a little bit of information about our potential participants or people who joined the conversation today. So I invite you to take your mobile phones, to open the website slido.com and to enter this event code DHC Summer School 20. Or if you have a QR scanner, you can simply scan the code and be redirected to the page. So this is in principle what you should see. And I would like to ask you to answer a couple of questions. The first question is, did you participate in the previous editions of the DHC Plus Summer School? Please take a moment to connect and reply to this question. So we can see that the majority is our potential target audience who have never participated in the summer school, which is good. We can also see that there are some people from the recent editions of the summer school in Ljubljana and in Paris. Some of you participated also in Genk in Belgium. Very nice. So we have a good pool of potential participants for this year too. Thank you. We received only half of the answers from half of the participants of this webinar, but it already gives us the main trends. Okay, thank you very much. And the next question is, which country are you from? Please type it in. Okay, it's very nice to see that Italy is leading, Austria and Sweden for obvious reasons, I think. Nice. And also Chile, which proves that our summer school is really international. We used to have participants from all around the world and from different continents too. Nice. Thank you very much. And last but not least, we would like to know whether you are student or young professional or not so young professional, or you have nothing to do with district heating and cooling and you wanted just to take a break with the DHC Plus talks. Okay, very interesting. There are some people that really need a break from their families. Excellent. So the majority of those who responded as students. Very well then. Just want to remind that the DHC Plus Summer School is a very good opportunity also for young professionals in terms of networking and creating partnerships. Thank you very much. So I'll close it for now. We have a better idea of who is our target audience today. And I would like to introduce our presenters and also give them the possibility to say hi and probably a few words about their favorite coffee or tea mug. So please welcome Katarina Hansell.
Yes, good afternoon. Hi, my name is Katarina Hansell. I'm a cluster manager for NetPort Energy Cluster at in Karlshamn, Sweden. And this is one of my favorite tea mugs, actually. It's made in Höganäs, Sweden, where they make a lot of these type of things in for the kitchen and for eating and drinking. So and it's a very special place in Sweden for me, Höganäs.
Thank you, Katarina. Thanks a lot. The next presenter will be Christian Johansson. Christian, welcome.
Yeah, hello, thank you very much. So my name is Christian Johansson, I'm CEO at NODA. We are partly organising also this DHC Summer School. This is my favorite coffee mug. It's with my proper boss, Darth Vader, because I'm also, when I don't work at NODA, I'm also part of the 501st Imperial Legion as a stormtrooper and the Gamorrean Guard also. So if you come to Karlskrona or Karlshamn, maybe you will even see me dressed up this summer. We'll see.
Wonderful. Thank you. Just for those who know Christian, it's not surprising. NODA is the DHC Plus member, and so the majority of our members know Christian's hobbies very well. Thank you. The next presenter will be Kobra Etminani.
Yes, hello. Yeah, I'm an assistant professor in machine learning working at Halmstad University. Yeah, I lost a little bit of connection. I don't know if my voice is good now.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay. And I have no lovely mug with me now. I just have a mug that I can drink with that. So
good, and stay
yeah.
hydrated. This is important also.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And the second presenter from Halmstad University is Slavomir Novacek. It's also a new face for us because we all used to see Sven Werner representing Halmstad University, but welcome, Slavomir.
Thank you very much. So, as you mentioned, my name is Slavomir Novacek and I'm professor in machine learning. I'm actually not an expert in district heating. I'm expert in understanding the data, and it turns out there is a lot of really interesting data in district heating. So what we will be doing together with Kobra, we will be showing you how can you use some of the interesting techniques from machine learning to better understand what happens in the district heating. I have a mug with obviously a tiger. I'm not going to dress up as a tiger, but I don't particularly have a great story about this mug. It's just a really cool mug.
That's fine. Just feel comfortable. And the last presenter will be Henrik Johansson. Some of you may already know Henrik from the previous edition of the summer school. Welcome, Henrik.
Thank you. Yeah, I participated in the edition that went in Ljubljana, and today I work as a business development manager at Danfoss, who is also one of the organizers this year. My mug is the one that I got for my first Father's Day from my son.
Oh, congratulations. Okay, thank you very much for this short introduction. And I would like to continue immediately with Katarina, who will actually get us familiar with the host of this year edition of the summer school. Please, Katarina, welcome. I'll give you the control.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aksana. And I would like to start with thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to DHC Plus team for the opportunity to host the 8th summer school this year at NetPort Science Park in Karlshamn. Let me see if I can switch the slides. No. I can actually not switch the slides, Aksana.
If you try to click right or just to scroll your mouse, yes, it works.
Okay, now it works. Okay, thank you for that. So I would just like to introduce the listeners to the hosting organizations, our sponsors, and also to Karlshamn and the place NetPort Science Park. Sorry for that. Oops. It actually turns out I have to be a little bit careful with switching the slides. It's a bit slow. Anyway, maybe you can switch the slides for me, Aksana. Can you take back the control?
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yes.
So, the hosting organizations for this year, NetPort Science Park is the coordinators. And what is NetPort Science Park? Well, Science Park, who is contributing to sustainable growth in the region of Blekinge. It's NODA Intelligent Systems, and they create content in the digitalization of the energy sector. Högskolan in Halmstad, and in this summer school, they are contributing with expertise in data analytics. And it's Danfoss, who is working, among others, district heating and cooling systems. And the next slide, I am presenting the sponsors, who is helping us performing the summer school for this year. So our goal sponsor is CTTerm, and CTTerm is a company who is offering high-tech product expertise in heating and cooling systems for the district energy and collective boiler room markets. We have 3 silver sponsors. It's Karlshamn Energy, who is a local utility supplier that provides local residents with renewable electricity, sustainable district heating, dependable fiber broadband, and also drinking water. Södra Cell is one of Europe's leading manufacturers of pulp for the pulp market. And then we have Sparbanken in Karlshamn. It's their supporting organizations. They support local companies with great potential and projects that are good for the society and the people living here in Karlshamn. Our silver sponsor, AAK, they are a leading provider of value-added vegetable oils and fats. And both Södra and AAK, they also deliver heat water to the district heating system in the city of Karlshamn. And then if we switch slide again, I'd like to show you a very nice picture of Karlshamn. This is the place where we're going to meet this year, hopefully. Otherwise, we will meet digitally. But from the archipelago, Karlshamn is situated at the southeast of Sweden, and we're just next to the waterline with the archipelago just nearby. And if you see the big buildings out on the pier, that's NetPort Science Park, where we are going to be if we meet in Karlshamn. So if we change the slides one more time, when we enter into the buildings, we will see this fascinating statue. And indoors, there are always a lot of people normally in the buildings. So if we switch slides one more time, there are different types of activities going on always at NetPort Science Park. We have different seminars. There are students at Blekinge Institute of Technology. There are speeches, there are fairs, and all types of lectures going on all the time. In the Science Park, there are about 30 companies. We have 99 member companies in total, but 30 of them are situated at the Science Park. So there are lots of opportunities to network also with different companies and the students. There are about 300 students at the park at the moment. And we also, we've just started to build a new house just next to the other buildings, where there will be 700 new working places and for new companies. So this is a short introduction to Karlshamn NetPort Science Park. Of course, there will be study visits where we will visit some of our sponsoring companies to see what they're actually doing and how they are, how they deliver services to the district and heating and cooling system in Karlshamn. I think I'll stay there.
Thank you very much. It was short and very motivating. Then I would like Christian to take the floor and to introduce very briefly the outline of the program of this year's summer school. So Christian, let's try with you. I'll give you the control of the screen.
All right.
Here you go.
Okay.
It takes a few seconds to switch the slide.
Something's happening now. Okay, so it seems I can switch the screen then. So I'll talk just shortly about the program and also the case study that we will be doing during as part of the lecture program. Let's see if I can switch again. Well, I managed one time, so maybe I should be able to do it again.
Yes, if you click on the screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we go. Here we go. Så bra. Okay, so the purpose of the program, as it says, is to combine this traditional district heating and cooling knowledge, but also then add to the machine learning and analytics that we will be doing also. So there are actually two kind of tracks in the lecture program, one focused on the more traditional parts and one where we add this machine learning stuff. And on top of that, we also have the case study, workshop, and also some study visits, as Katarina just mentioned, and also obviously we have social activities. So if we're looking at the program for the more traditional district heating and cooling, we'll start off, and this happens at every summer school. We start with a kind of a thorough introduction to district heating and cooling, and this is normally held by Sven Werner from Halmstad also. Then we have some other lectures going on here. We have one business models. This is quite related also to what we're going to be doing in the case study. So it's quite interesting that we have a lecture also on the business models. New district heating sources and production technologies also relate to what we're going to be doing in the machine learning part, analytics part. And also Legionella. This is obviously, I mean, the reason, one of the main drivers behind analytics and more intensive use of digitalization is that you can lower temperatures. And one of the things that happens when you lower temperatures is obviously you get more issues with Legionella. So we're going to cover this also. And then we're going to round off a bit with the policies on EU level, but also on the Baltic Sea region, which is where we are in Karlshamn then, obviously. Okay. So here we have some of the program when it comes to the more analytics part. The picture here, we're going to probably be talking a bit more about pictures like this when you come here, or at least during the summer school. So I'll wait to explain that. But we'll give you some kind of introduction to AI and machine learning in general. And I think it's good to also note that you don't have to have a background in this area, because we will, specifically the people from Halmstad University, will help you to get a good introduction to this and also help you through the workshops and also the lectures relating to this. We'll be looking at anomaly detection, predictive maintenance, customer communication. This is where it kind of ties together with the business models of district heating. Geographical information, heat reuse, hydronic balancing, by Henrik. I think he will be talking about this. This is quite interesting. Adaptive control also ties together with this. And then obviously you have the lowering of system temperatures. And basically this is why we're here. We want to take the 3rd generation district heating to 4th and 5th generation, which is low temperatures. Okay. So then on top of that, we have the study visits, as was mentioned before, but let's start off with some social activities. So on the Sunday, there will be some sightseeing, you know, the sites that Katarina just showed. There will be some networking games. I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure someone has. Henrik or Katarina. Probably there's going to be some beer involved also. I don't know. We'll have a welcome dinner, and then will be some networking evenings throughout the week also. So a big part of this program is not just to do lectures, but also to kind of build a network, which is good then in your professional career. So and then we will have the analytics workshop. I think Slavomir and Kobra will talk a bit more about this. This is a really good hands-on workshop where you really work on actual data that we have from actual district heating networks. So this is going to be quite cool. 2 study visits, Sätertam, Karlshamn Energy. You will get production, how they produce district heating, and understand a bit more about this from Karlshamn Energy. But then also we will be looking at Sätertam, where they're building substations and things like this. And we will have a farewell dinner, obviously, in the archipelago, where we will be going with a ferry. So it sounds interesting. There's also some other stuff being planned, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Okay, one part of this also is that we're going to have a case study, and this is where you form a group of students work together in order to solve a task that you will be given. And the task that we were looking at, or the case study, will focus on the whole idea of the summer school this year, which is analytics and machine learning, and how these kind of technologies can help district heating and cooling. So what we're looking at now is the task is to develop and present potential solutions that will help transfer value and cost throughout this energy chain. Because a lot of the things that we're looking at now is that you want to analyze and you want to do actions on the consumer side, whereas you have on the production side, this is where all the network operators have their, this is what they control. But all the issues and problems, when it relates to high return temperatures, for example, they happen on the consumer side. So you need to relate these things together. And from a technical point of view, this is fairly straightforward. But on top of that, you need to have the financial incentives to do this also. So we were looking a bit more into this also during the case study. And this case study will then be worked on throughout the week. And then at the end of the week, you will be able to give a presentation on your solution in front of a jury. And this jury will then be able to see who the winner will be based on this criteria that we're looking at here. So I'm sure it's going to be quite interesting. And the rocks here are added. This signifies all the work that we'll put on your shoulders so that you will be able to do this case study. And now the lights went off because we have an energy optimization system in this building that doesn't really care about humans like me. So I had to turn on. There's no machine learning in the light system in this building, I can tell you. So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christian. Thank you for the introduction to the program. Just to highlight the topic of this year's summer school will be creating a sustainable ecosystem in district heating and cooling using artificial intelligence. So we will bring together district heating and cooling and artificial intelligence. This part will be also represented by our lecturers from Halmstad University, data analytics, and I let Kobra, Etminani, and Slavomir Novacek to briefly present our plans for the hands-on workshop during the summer school. I'll give the control to Kobra.
Okay, it works.
Yes.
Yes. This year we are going to talk about the data analytics, which is under the umbrella of artificial intelligence, and how it's gonna be applied in district heating and cooling. I'll bring here the knowledge pyramid, which is very famous about how you can gain more values out of data from information, knowledge, and through wisdom. And we're gonna do it through data analytics. And I provide you also a very brief definition of what is data analytics, which is the science of extracting information and ideally knowledge out of raw data. And thanks to smart meters nowadays in district heating and cooling, that they collect a bunch of variables that are mainly used for billing purposes, but we want to see how data analytics can help us. I'm going to show you a very famous model here that starts from the descriptive analytics from the bottom part through the diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. You can see on the X and Y axis are difficulty and value. So it means that the higher value you're aiming for, of course, you should put more effort and it has more difficulty. The descriptive analytics is about what has happened before. And an example here would be reports and graphs that can show you what has happened before. Another step, a higher level, is diagnostic analytics about why did it happen. And a nice example of that in district heating and cooling would be fault detection. So we were gonna see if we can extract some faults out of data just by looking into how it's moving these variables, the power, the return and supply temperature and other variables that if we can find some sort of trends in it. And the next step would be predictive analytics. If we can forecast the heat demands for substations based on what we have seen before. And the last but not the least in this graph is prescriptive analytics about if we can make some recommendations or suggestions to optimize the network. So you can see we are gonna do the information towards optimizing in sort of network. And about the data analytics workshop, it seems a little bit scary when it comes to data analytics and data science, but we will provide first the very brief, rich introduction to some of the very common useful topics under the data analytics. And to have you hands-on these topics, we will provide some exercises from the real world data that you can see it, how it works. But we will write it and provide it in Python, which is a very common language nowadays for data scientists. And we will use Jupyter notebooks, so you don't have to install anything on your computer. We'll provide you a URL link. So just bring your laptop. If it's gonna be online, then you already have a laptop and your internet connection is enough. And then you can see what we expect you to do. You can play with the parameters, change them, play with them in order to see and scrutinize various visualizations. And if you can find faulty substations by just look into and explore some sort of real data that we already prepared for you. And we hope that this data analytics workshop can open up a new chapter in the future of DHC, which would be smart DHC. You can see buzzword smart everywhere, smart home, smartphone, and we will look forward to smart district heating and cooling. And I provide you this marriage between district heating and cooling, and we will see the child in future. Or if it's a child, we will see the very good grown-up one. And we expect you, after this workshop, you can have some ideas in your mind. If you're a student, perhaps you can create your own research or thesis on top of these data science things in district heating and cooling. Or if you are working in a company, a relevant company, then you can perhaps provide them with more interesting topics towards data analytics. Now I will give the word to Slawomir to continue with the recent research results. I can click if you want.
So thanks, Kobra. So what I wanted to tell you a little bit about is what we are doing on the research side. What are the results that we have already now about how can you use this kind of data science in order to actually try new things. So we have been looking at different kinds of information you can extract from district heating substations. I assume most of you are familiar with power signatures and the fact that you can use the number of outliers in them to find substations which don't behave the way they should. We have analyzed what is the best way of doing it, and we actually have shown that the counting outliers is not the best way of doing it. You really want to look at the dispersion in this data. We have been working with load profiles, which is how the heat demand changes over time, looking at the seasons, days of the week, hours. And by doing clustering automatically over a large number of substations, we have done it over thousands of substations, you can find common patterns, the different ways in which kind of buildings behave. You can try to understand them and so on. You can get statistics of it, and you can use this in order to understand the challenges and in order to potentially find anomalies, the behaviors that you don't like, but also to try to understand how can you actually influence customers to behave differently. We have been looking at the anomaly detection in order to find broken or not well-designed substations, and we have been looking how can you do it by comparing one substation to a number of similar ones. So instead of defining what is the globally correct behavior that all substations should behave in a particular way, we can look at the neighbors of a substation in terms of behavior, so similar buildings, and then we can say we expect all of them to change the behavior over time in a similar way. Clearly, the behavior of district heating substations depends a lot on external conditions and so on. So it's hard to predict how they really should behave. But we can see if we have a group of substations, do they actually change their behavior similarly? And again, we can find broken substations, we can find faults by looking at those changes in trajectories. So those are some examples of things we will show you how it can be done, and you will actually have an opportunity of trying some of those things on your own. That's a little bit about the workshop.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I just want to say that please don't get the wrong impression that this is all too complex. When you see all these graphs and you don't understand all of them, or you don't understand some of the terms used by Slawomir or Kobra, it's not a barrier for you to participate in the summer school. During the registration, we will ask you what's the level of your knowledge in data analytics and digitalization, and you can assess it, and we will definitely adapt the program and the exercises we will give to the audience we have at the summer school. But it's also an excellent opportunity to learn new things and to discover and to see how the district heating and the cooling sector evolves. With that,
we will definitely make it so that you can create all of those pictures just by pressing the button. And then if you want to go deeper, you can change things and see how the pictures change in response to what you ask. That's what the workshop is about.
Excellent. Thank you for the clarification. And with that, I would like to give the floor to one of the former participants of the summer school in Ljubljana, who will explain you why Danfoss is involved again to the organization of the summer school. So please, Henrik, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, when I was participating in the summer school, I was not at Danfoss, but afterwards, given a bit of time, I was. And so I will also do this right-click thing. So before I went to the summer school, I hadn't traveled that much. So for me, it was a big adventure to a new city. It was also, I was a young professional at the time, working with district heating. And so this was a way for me to deepen my knowledge within district energy. And also getting the opportunity to meet my peers gave me new perspectives because they came from different backgrounds than I did. I got to be challenged in pitching my ideas, and I think the most important thing for me at the summer school was that I managed to expand my network exponentially, basically. For just after 1 week, my network was all of a sudden international, and many of the people that I met at the summer school are today either my friends or colleagues. Yeah, and so the summer school was made up of a lot of lectures where we could deep dive into different aspects in district energy. It was also, as I said, a perfect opportunity for me to be training how to perform a pitch. Firstly, to my peers, to see what could I do better, and then to finish the week basically with presenting an idea that I participated in forming to a jury of people from the industry and from the academia. The week also entailed a lot of field trips where we went to a steel refinery, we went to a waste heat plant to further see a bit hands-on how things in district heating works. We also got to meet the vice mayor of Ljubljana. She told us how the city of Ljubljana is working mostly with everything green, making the city greener, making the air better. It was very inspiring to hear her talk about this. The workshops were many. We also got to further improve the ideas that we came up with in the beginning of the week. The whole week we just kept on improving it, and with a lot of help from mentors from Danfoss and from Petrol, who was also organizing it. And of course, in the evenings, we had dinners together, further getting to know each other outside of the classroom, so to speak. And yeah, this whole experience was a great time for me to meet new people, further deepen my knowledge in district energy, and it's eventually led to me finding a new job opportunity in my career. So yeah, a really great experience.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Henrik. I would like to also highlight that we are very pleased to see our former participants of the summer school involved in the organization of the next editions. It was already the case in Ljubljana, in Paris, and now again in Karlshamn. So it's great that the summer school history continues with the next generation DHC ambassadors, and all the participants go on with with being involved in our activities. With this, I would like to also point out that we are always looking for the hosting entities for the next editions of the summer school. So if you have this idea, talk to your mentor, to your manager, and find out whether your organization is interested in hosting one of the next editions. But coming back to this year's edition, I bet that you have some questions to the organizers, to the hosts, and I would like to invite you to ask your questions on Slido. So just to remind you, take your phone, open the website slido.com and enter the code of this webinar, DHC Summer School 20. Just to give you an opportunity to make a short exercise, you can also type your ideas in the idea section of Slido about what you would like to be covered also at the next edition of the summer school, which topics you would like to see. And in the meantime, I will double check some of the questions we have in GoToWebinar. This is not the platform that we would like to use for the questions, but there are no urgent questions. That's good. These are all technical questions. I will now open the tab with slido.com and see whether there are already some extra topics that our potential participants would like to be included in the summer school in Karlshamn. There is nothing so far. Maybe this is a question to think about. Okay, business models comes in very, very timely. I can confirm that business models are part of this year's summer school program. Modeling of district heating systems. Thank you. Any other ideas? The role of consumers. Very well. This will also be covered during the summer school. You can, in the meantime, I would like to show you that there is one handout that you can find in the GoToWebinar control panel. And this is the brochure of this year's summer school, where you can find some information about the program and also some general information, what has been just said during the webinar and some more information. And obviously, you will find the program in details on the summer school website. The link will be provided to you a little bit later. We also have a suggestion for covering district heating and cooling in the 100% CO2-free future energy systems. Excellent. Heat pumps integration and consideration in data analytics. Okay, something to think about. District heating substation, direct versus indirect connections. Maybe Henrik could also take a note about it. Integration of dynamic simulation model for buildings. Great, those are very nice ideas. Thank you very much. I will close for now. And already we have some questions that came in the meantime. So the first question is, obviously, if it is going to be a digital summer school, any changes to the fee structure? Thank you very much for the question. Indeed, we are considering going 100% digital. And this year's program allows us to do so because it's going to be a summer school about digitalization. So we are currently evaluating our options, and the fee most probably will remain comparable. So what you will find on the summer school website for now, it's an estimation of the participation fee in case of a digital event, but the fee to participate in the online event will most likely be comparable. It will definitely be adjusted when we have more information and more clarity about the format of the summer school. Let me think. The other question is it possible to know the exact dates of the summer school? As it is now, as indicated in the brochure, the summer school will take place from the 23rd to the 29th of August, so the very last week of August. If you are aiming at participating physically, those are the set dates. In case of digital summer school, again, we will need to reevaluate a little bit the program adapted to the situation, but also please book in your agenda this week and maybe a couple of weeks before or after. It will depend on the program of the summer school and the way we organize it. But aim at the last week of August, please. What else do we have? Do you plan to cover the integration of different renewable heating sources such as geothermal into district heating grids? Well, if you express this interest, we will definitely let know our main lecturer on this, Professor Stefan Holler from Halmstad University, from Hauke University in Germany. Yes, we will definitely adapt the lectures about new production generation sources for district heating and cooling. Can you expand on comparable fee structure? Unfortunately, for the moment, I cannot provide more information. But what I would like to highlight is that for now, we will launch pre-registrations for the summer school. And you can already express your strong interest in participating. And whenever we will reevaluate the situation in 1 month and try to take the decision, and pre-registered participants will be informed in due course, and they will be informed also about the fee. Are there any other questions in the meantime? Maybe some questions to the presenters, to the hosts of the summer school. Okay, can master students with basic knowledge on DHC cope? Yes, absolutely. Master students are more than welcome. Again, during the registration, we will ask you to rate your knowledge about district heating and cooling. Also expand a little bit about your study or research field, so we can have an estimate of your background, an idea about it. And definitely in the past, we had multiple master students in the summer school. Another question, do you plan to cover ultra low temperature district heating grids? Christian, or maybe you can take this question.
Yes, I mean, we will cover this to some extent. I mentioned both 4th and 5th generation. 5th is certainly very ultra low temperatures. So this will be, at least to some extent, covered in the program. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, if there are no more questions coming, I would like to reiterate that this year we have an excellent team of hosting entities and organizers who are committed very much to provide you a great value of the DHC Plus Summer School as it used to be, as it always used to be. So we will work on the program in two possible scenarios, physical or online summer school. And we are pretty positive that you will enjoy it as much or even maybe more, because it's a new format than the previous editions of the summer school. Another thing is, obviously, we all notice that the life changes, and now a lot of educational courses are going online. So we are also adapting to the changing situation. And yes, let us explore the new possibilities for district heating and cooling and for our DHC Plus Summer School. From now on, you can find more information going to the summer school website, summerschool.dhcplus.eu, where you will find a page dedicated to this year's edition. And by clicking on pre-register now, you will be redirected to the summer school website with more information about the program, about the lecturers, about the fee structure as it is now, and some practical information. And whenever you feel ready, pre-register for the summer school. Obviously, for people who pre-register early, before the 15th of June, an early bird will be applied, early bird fee, which is interesting. Also, this year we have a different fee structure for the members of Euroheat and Power and DHC Plus platform and non-members. So please carefully check whether your organization is a member of Euroheat and Power or DHC Plus. If you have any doubts, any concerns, you can send directly emails to myself. I'm the program coordinator, and my colleague Pauline, who is behind the screens, and we will definitely try to answer your question. And please stay tuned. The hashtag DHC Summer School 20 will be used throughout social media channels, and whenever we have more information about how we will proceed with the summer school, you will know first. So please bear with us, stay safe, stay also healthy, because now it's really, really important that we all respect all the restrictions and measures put in place by our governments, and join our DHC Plus talks, because next week we will have a different topic. We will talk about low temperature district heating. These talks are open to everyone, so please check the program on the Euroheat and Power website and take a break with DHC Plus. Take care, everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar, and let's keep in touch.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye,
very
everybody.
much to all the presenters. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah,
Bye.
thank you
Bye-bye.
very much. Bye.